Days of Our Lives spoilers, Tuesday, March 25th. Kristen's vengeful move, Julie decides Doug's fate. Week of March 24th update. Holly furious over Tate's treason, Julie punishes Doug, EJ suspect list. Days of Our Lives 2, week spoilers. March 24th to April 4th. Julie repulsed, Sarah shakes and amp, Johnny simmers. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Tuesday, March 25th, reveal that Tate Black will lie to Holly Jonas, while Kristen DiMera plots a revengeful move. Julie Williams will also decide Doug Williams' third fate, so let's talk about what's coming up on Days of Our Lives. After Tate tells Julie the name of the person who took her choker, she'll be thrown for a circle. Julie won't want to believe Doug is responsible, but Tate may unmask enough information to move her that it's true. Once Holly comes back from meeting Doug in the domain, she may notice that Tate seems on edge. Tate won't want Holly to know he snitched on Doug, so he'll keep secrets and conceal the guilt that starts washing up. At the Horton house, Days spoilers say Julie will launch a battle with Doug about the stolen choker. It looks like Doug will admit everything and maintain for remission, but Julie may not be willing to give him that, at least not yet. Julie may throw Doug out over this treason and could indeed contemplate having him arrested. Doug will be deeply sorry for the pain he's caused, but it'll take some time before Julie can indeed suppose about getting past this. Other Days spoilers say Marlena Evans will reflect on some John Black recollections with Steve Johnson, so they'll take a little breath when it comes to their hunt for answers. Still, that hunt will pick back over soon, especially since Steve's going to turn to Andrew Donovan for further information. Until also, let's talk about EJ and Ava Vitale since they'll have a showdown outside the cantina. Brady Black may come on and break effects up before Ava formally again comforts him about John's exposure. As for Ava and Brady's future, is there still a chance for them or is this the end of the road? Ava doesn't feel convinced there's a way forward together, so she may prompt Brady to see they're better off heading down separate paths. Coming on Tuesday's Days occasion, Kristen will compass vengeance since EJ made Rachel Blake evaporate. Since EJ refuses to admit guilt and reveal Rachel's whereabouts, Kristen will make a vaticination about getting vengeance. Days of Our Lives spoilers say bad news is brewing for EJ since he'll land at the center of a whodunit plot soon, so stick with us for updates on all the marvels. Days of Our Lives week of March 24th update. Holly furious over Tate's treason, Julie punishes Doug, EJ suspect list. Days of Our Lives spoilers update for the week of March 24th to 28th reveals that Holly Jonas will be furious over Tate Black's treason while Julie Williams punishes Doug Williams. The third EJ DiMera's suspect list will also come into play as the show gears up for some jaw-dropping drama. For starters, Javi Hernandez will come indeed more smitten with Leo Stark, but Gabby Hernandez will feel like it's a mistake to fall for such a devious trouble attraction. Speaking of trouble, Doug will land in plenitude of it thanks to Tate. Days spoilers say Tate will go behind Holly's back and blow up Doug's secret with a phone call to Julie. Julie will back Doug into a corner, so he seems poised to admit he stole the choker and apologize profusely. Still, Julie may protest Doug out and find herself tempted to have him arrested for the crime. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Holly will eventually discover Tate set Doug's counter-reaction in stir, so she'll defy her swain, though he may not be her swain for much longer. This could fluently lead to a split if Holly gets angry enough. Tate will continue to bond with Sophia Choi in the midst of all this, so Sophia may jump at the occasion to pull him back in her direction. As for Paulina Price and Chanel Dupree DiMera, they'll cleave to hope and make some positive prognostications about the relinquishment working out. Unfortunately, there could be some new issues on the horizon, especially if Sophia decides she'd like to raise the baby herself with help from Tate. Meanwhile, Chad DiMera and Kat Green will enjoy further alone time in medication for the sanitarium fundraiser. It'll be easy to see Kat and Chad's fellowship start teetering on the edge of a new romantic chapter. Next, Days spoilers say EJ will have a run heft with Ava Vitale while Kristen DiMera prepares to go after revenge. Kristen will want answers about her missing mama and will plan to make EJ suffer if he refuses to discover Rachel Black's whereabouts. Back with EJ, he'll offer a sincere reason to Johnny DiMera, but Johnny won't be ready to let go of his wrathfulness over what his father did to Sammy Brady the night he was conceived. Kate Roberts Brady will also act uncommunicative while Gabby potentially gets a memorial of everything EJ's gotten down with. The show will give a lengthy list of suspects for the forthcoming riddle that'll eventually ask, who shot EJ? EJ will get shot by an unseen caller in a dramatic thriller moment soon, so stay tuned for updates on all the chaos that'll unleash. Until also, we should talk about Xander Kiriaki's wrong conclusion since he'll start spreading the news about Philip Kiriakis and Stephanie Johnson sleeping together. Alex Kiriakis will fly into a rage over that stunner and manhandle Philip at the Kiriakis manse. Although Sarah Kiriakis will press Stephanie to back up the taradiddle, Stephanie seems poised to make a real concession to Alex when he pushes for one. Days spoilers say Stephanie will come clean, so it sounds like she'll admit she's helping Sarah and Philip keep the forged letter under wraps. Once that secret's in Alex's hands, it'll leave Philip and Sarah bothered that he may gossip to Xander. Away, Steve Johnson will pry a different secret out of Andrew Donovan that involves an indication about John Black's assignment that went wrong. After Marlena Evans takes a trip down memory lane with Paul, Narita Andrew will give her some critical word about the peril John's covering. Days of Our Lives spoilers say the week of March 24th to 28th will bring some stunning developments, so stay tuned. Days of Our Lives 2, week spoilers March 24th to April 4th Julie repulsed, Sarah shakes and amp, Johnny simmers. Days of Our Lives 2, week spoilers for March 24th to April 4th, 2025 see Julie Williams is shocked, Sarah Horton shakes, and Johnny DiMera is stewing. Days of Our Lives spoilers Chad and Kat's expiring love and sanitarium plans. On Monday, March 24th, we've got Chad DiMera chancing out a little further about Kat Green. He seems to have set aside his enterprises. They're happily planning ways to save the sanitarium. And indeed, more importantly, Chad is comfortable with Kat. And effects are starting to spark. Days of Our Lives spoilers Leo and Javi's romantic night and Gabby's enterprises. Speaking of sparks, Leo Stark and Javi Hernandez have a romantic night in at Casa Hernandez, including a night regale. Javi is telling Gabby Hernandez that he's head over heels and feels like it's true love with Leo. But Gabby thinks Leo is going to break Javi's heart. And she cautions him that Leo is always doing commodity, always a stupid scheme. And that's true as well. Days of Our Lives 2, week spoilers police investigation and family drama unfold. J.J. Devereaux questions DA Melinda Trask down at the cop shop. Julie has issued a formal police report about the choker around Melinda's neck. Doug Williams calls Holly Jonas to advise her about Melinda being spotted with the choker and Julie making the police report. Of course, he's upset he's about to be rounded up. And that's a valid concern because Tate Black makes a phone call to Julie and flat out tells her that Doug's grandson, Doug 3, stole the Horton family choker. Spoilers for Days of Our Lives Julie confronts Doug 3 and Tate's guilt. On Tuesday, March 25th, Julie confronts Doug 3. Looks like her house guest is about to be persona non grata. And Julie is glaring at Doug. I feel like Doug isn't going to deny it. I suppose he's going to go ahead and come clean, but we'll see. Tate, meanwhile, is trying to cover up his guilt over betraying what Holly asked him to do when he's talking with his gal. And I'll say that's Tate's gal for now. We'll see just how frenetic Holly is ahead each is said and done on Days of Our Lives. Days of Our Lives spoilers Marlena and Steve's hunt for John and EJ and Ava's argument. Marlena Evans and Steve Johnson spend some time ignoring about John Black. They were coming back to Salem after leaving DC. And they were planning on going to Estonia to look for him, which I allowed Tate had some veritably spot on reflections about, that's a whole entire country. UCA ain't just show up and go, oh, have you seen this Joe? They need a little further word. And they may get some latterly this week. EJ DiMera and Ava Vitale are arguing, which they like to do. Effects get hot between them when they run into each other outside the Brady pub. Days of Our Lives 2-week spoilers Kristen's vengeance plot against EJ. Kristen DiMera wants vengeance on her family EJ because he got relief of Mama Rachel Blake, and I suppose Kristen is assuming the worst, that it was some kind of dire outgrowth. But indeed, if EJ didn't kill her mama, she's still frenetic because she hasn't seen her in so long. She allowed she was dead for times. And they were having time together. Also, just because of that little matter of, them conspiring to shoot him to captivity, he got relief of her mama. Days spoilers EJ's attempt to smooth effects over with Johnny and Holly's discovery. On Wednesday, March 26th, EJ is trying to smooth effects over with Johnny, but what do you really say to your son when he finds out that you constrained his mama into bed, you know, principally forcing himself on her? He didn't physically force her, but clearly emotionally when he blackmailed her into bed. It's non-consensual, it's not okay. Now Johnny feels that he's ever tainted as the child of rape. So I'm not exactly sure how EJ thinks he's going to smooth effects over. Holly is there to take care of Doug 3, who looks like he has been slung out of the Horton house for being a pincher, but at least so far doesn't look like he's arrested. He's over at the Kiriaki's mansion, fresh out of a shower in a kerchief, when Holly tells Doug that her selfish swain Tate is the one who ratted him out to Julie. Days of Our Lives spoilers Tate's sympathy-seeking and Chanel and Paulina's relinquishment expedients. Speaking of her selfish swain, Tate is opening up to Sophia. He always runs to her whenever there's any issue with Holly. And I just wonder if he's going to cross lines while looking for sympathy. Chanel Dupree and Paulina Price are auspicious about the relinquishment of Tate and Sophia's baby, but we'll have to see if Amy remains on board. Days spoilers Xander's allegations and Sarah's lies. On Thursday, March 27th, Xander Cook is biting out Philip Kiriakis. He thinks that his family has slept with Stephanie Johnson, Abigail Klein, behind Alex Kiriaki's back. And as a matter of fact, he's so on fire about it that Xander goes ahead and he just tells Alex that Philip and Stephanie have had a fling. They've cheated behind his reverse. And they're lying. Alex is maddened. He formerly is no addict of Philip, and he grabs the Joe up, calls him a name while they're in the Kiriakis' living room, and is hanging him. At the same time, Sarah is asking Stephanie to go on with yet another taradiddle. And it sounds like Sarah insanely thinks that Stephanie might be willing to let Alex suppose there's commodity going on between her and Philip, or to make up some other taradiddle to cover up what Xander eavesdropped, but Stephanie has had just about enough of this gibberish. Holly's battle and Melinda's warning on Days. Speaking of gibberish, Holly confronts Tate about ratting out Doug 3, and Melinda gives Gabby a warning about commodity. And I believe it's about Leo's involvement in the stolen choker deal. Days of Our Lives spoilers Andrew's exposures and Alex's questioning. On Friday, March 28th, Andrew Donovan helps out Steve with some fresh word about John's fate. Andrew tells Steve that he's been lying to Paul Narita, who of course is John's son. And that Andrew actually knows further about John's charge and what's going on than he has let on. Andrew talks to Marlena latterly. And he warns her that time is running out for John. While Andrew and Steve are having a discussion, Marlena is having a discussion with Andrew's son, Paul Narita, who of course is John's son. And they're spending time ignoring about John. We also have Alex asking Stephanie if she's sleeping with Philip on Friday. And Stephanie goes ahead and tells Alex the verity. She's tired of this. She's going to tell him about the phony. She's not going to go on with any other falsehoods, and that sends Sarah and Philip into an absolute fear as the week ends. Days of Our Lives spoilers Kate's worries and upcoming drama. Speaking of fear, Kate Roberts has reason to worry as well because she's hiding that big phony and fraud thing from Roman Brady the week of March 31st through April 4th. We're on a preamble to Xander chancing out Philip defrauded him, but Alex may be induced to keep the dirty secret for a nanosecond or two. I still suppose it's not going to explode until May reaches. We'll find out Kate is headed for trouble because Roman's going to find out about her involvement in the fraud. And she might be getting some of that counter-reaction that EJ wished on Kat. Days spoilers EJ's fate and the plan to save John. Speaking of EJ, with Mama Rachel Blake gone, his odds of avoiding captivity are much better, but his odds of avoiding appellate are much worse. Marlena and Steve have new word thanks to Andrew. And they get busy casting a plan to try and save John before it's too late, so they may be packing for Estonia unless Andrew sends them in a new direction. Days of Our Lives spoilers Doug 3's fate and the relinquishment process. The big question is whether Julie would press charges on Doug 3 for purloining her choker. I would say that she's frenetic, but perhaps not frenetic enough to put Doug Williams' namesake grandson in jail, but if JJ gets a trace of the theft, he may arrest him anyway. Chanel and Paulina keep working on Amy Choi to secure the relinquishment of the baby, but Johnny is detracted by his growing resentment of his pater, EJ. Thanks for watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.